Hello, my name is Mercury, and welcome to this brand new episode of Media Buffet. Today, I'm alone and I'll be discussing the third season of What If, the final MCU production until we are officially caught up with the MCU, and now I have officially watched every single MCU production. Fuck. Okay. So, I skipped out on What If Season 3. I've mentioned this last episode. Also, we've been getting a roll of fucking Marvel episodes. It is not stopping anytime soon. But yeah, What If Season 3. This came out last year as a surprise to many people. I think it was announced like a month or something before the actual season came out. So it wasn't exactly the biggest drop. What If Season 3 came a year after the second season, after the very, very underwhelming second season. It's not that I thought that the first season was anything better than okay. I thought that the first season, to just kind of closes off, I thought that it closed off the entire series. I thought that the first season was okay, but it had weird ideas that it went with. I appreciated some of them. I think a lot of them were very good, but I think the writing definitely suffered in those episodes, and I didn't like the fact that they all converge at the end and whatever. I that's not what I was looking for when in an anthology series, but I was I was open to tolerating it for just for the one season, just for the first season, just one season. I was able to tolerate it, and hey, the second season might be completely anthology based, because where else would they go now with a finale? I was on board with us not getting. I was on board with us not getting a big season finale for an anthology series again for a second time in a row. And then we got a big season finale for an anthology series a second time in a row. And I was really disappointed. I thought the season 2 finale was some garbage. So, what did season 3 do? Did we finally get an anthology series? Of course fucking not. No, we didn't. Just to get this out of the way, this is my biggest complaint about Marvel Studios and What If in general. I was going to talk about this way later in the episode, but fuck it, I'm going to talk about it here because this is a general complaint of the entire series. This series shied away so much from being an anthology. This series did not want to be an anthology, and if it did, it was because it was advertised as that. That's the only reason this series had not connected episode, had just disconnected episodes from each other, and it suffers a lot in the later seasons, because at least in the first season, that's why I tolerated it. There is that most of the episodes that we saw earlier sort of merged together in the end, and that's what we got. That is what the finale of the first season was. It was all of the previous episodes converging, and we got a bunch of references to the earlier episodes. I tolerated it. The second season is a sequel to is mainly focusing on two of the episodes, and also isn't set up as well as the first one, which is fucking crazy that I'm even saying that about What If Season 1. It's just not set up as well. Strange Supreme does not have the motivation to even to do that. It's just that they needed a big villain for it, and they didn't want, and they decided to completely butcher the character of Strange Supreme. That's season 2. I thought season 2 had some high points, and it was definitely a, not to spoil my ranking, but it was definitely a tough call to say which one was worse between season 2 and season 3. But I still think, spoilers, season 3 is marginally better than season 2. Marginally speaking. I'm not gonna bump down. I know I gave season 2 a D tier. I'm not bumping it down. It is, I mean, really, do I need to? Hold on. Am I correct in this assumption that I should? Okay, yeah, do I bump down this episode? I don't think I need to. Do I bump down What If Season 2? I don't know. That's a tough call. Do I want to give it the F tier? I don't. Thing is, What If Season 2? I don't think is F tier. Tier. Really, I don't think it's. I don't think it's that bad. Like, sure, it has a lot of weird things, but there's still things to like about What If Season 2. It's just that when it tries to connect everything, it falls apart immediately because, yeah, I don't think What If Season 2 goes down into the levels of my current F tier, which, sure, like, yeah. I don't think it develops to the levels like Madam Web or Kramer the Hunter, or any of that, or Secret Invasion. Fucking hell, What If Season 2 was not the worst Marvel thing to come out of 2023. Let me tell you that. But season 3, is this season 3? I missed season 2. But yeah, season 2 is not the worst thing to come out of 2023 from Marvel. That's for certain. There are worse things. 2023 was not a good year for Marvel. It really wasn't. But yeah. So, what did season 3 improve on? How was What If Season 3? Let's get into it. I don't want this to make a long episode. Last time I talked about What If, it was in a dual episode with Echo. I'm not sure which segment was longer, but yeah, just expect sort of that length. I don't mean like the end of the actual episode in its entirety. I think more just how much I spent talking about What If. I do not have that much written down, but I also didn't have that much written down about your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. So yeah, and I talked about that for an hour. So maybe, but I don't think I have that much to talk about in this episode. This might be a very short one. Who knows? Especially since it's season 3, and I just don't care. And anymore. I don't. So yeah, let's get into it. Well, we always start off with, which is the animation and action. I think it's fine. It's the exact same. It's really the exact same as both last 2 seasons. Like it's still, I still think this show looks good, and especially I know that your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man came out after this show, but after watching that show and seeing like the absolute bottom of the barrel when it comes to Marvel animation, Marvel Studios animation. I think I can appreciate What If a little bit more. At least it has shadows. At least it has interesting colors. At least it has a cool style. Unlike Your Funny Neighborhood Spider-Man, which is fucking unbearable to look at. But yeah, also I know there's a guy in the comments that commented that he couldn't stand the show, and I know where it's coming from. Or like he didn't like it. Or how you put it, I sure as fuck didn't enjoy it. I totally get it, man. I totally get it. It's not for everybody. I found good things in it, but I know that some people aren't the biggest fans of What If season 3 of your feeling with Spider-Man. I don't know who this guy is. You can check him out, but yeah, I get it. But all right, let's get back into What If. So yeah, the animation and action haven't changed much. The only thing I can really knock points out of from this season specifically is something that I haven't seen from the other 2 seasons, or maybe it's been so long since that I have not noticed it in other seasons. But in this season, there is a very apparent reuse of footage throughout certain episodes, especially the episode, I think it's episode 5? 5, yeah, episode 5, which is What If the Emergence Happened? Which, by the way, I'll get this in the plot, but there are 2 episodes focusing on the Eternals. And that is surprising because the Eternals suck ass, but I will talk about these episodes later. But yeah, the action and the animation are fine. There aren't any noteworthy examples. I think it's gotten marginally worse, but that might be because of budget cuts in the season, where there really isn't a lot. The only ones I can really give good points for are the 1872 episode. Is the 1872 episode, which has, I think, some good action. That is like one of the only action-oriented ones, and I do think that the one with Agatha and Hollywood is at least original. So yeah. But yeah, no, that's really all I gotta say about it. There's not much that didn't change. They just gotta been reusing some footage, which, you know, that hasn't really happened with Marvel. At least I don't think it has. So seeing it being reused, at least like that isn't, you know, like a montage or something, like trying to using footage in the episode proper, that's part of the episode proper, is, and the plot proper is weird. It's not how it really isn't something that has happened within the MCU at any point. Or at least in the animation department, I don't think. But yeah, let's move on to the characters, which is something I can say about this season, about this show, is that it has characters I need to talk about. Which, yeah. That's something. So Uatu is first up. Yeah, Uatu certainly got butchered, I guess. In a way, he is this season's character for getting butchered. He is the writer's victim this time around. And the reason why he was butchered is because of what happened to him with him in the plot, where he breaks his oath. Again. Why? So it's in the second half of the show, we see the Watcher intervening with certain outcomes, which doesn't make sense for his character, and isn't as big of a reveal as the writers. Oh wait, shit! I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to wear these. I did not put on my earphones, and I'm pretty sure these are picking up. But yeah, I'm putting them on. I'm pretty sure the writers don't realize how not big of a revelation or of a plot point they think this is, because the very first season we saw the Watcher breaking his oath, and in this season he does it for stupider reasons. In every sense of the imagination, it's stupider. So he does it because he doesn't want to see any more universes fall or just kind of end in tragic ways. I don't think this really makes sense for his character, because we've seen him and how he doesn't intervene even when Ultron takes over an universe. If we've seen this beforehand, then it would have made sense. It would have made more sense, and I would have at least like acknowledged its existence of this character trait. But it's brought up here, and it's never really explained why he did this, aside from the fact that he couldn't bear to watch more heroes fall, when he has watched many heroes fall and hasn't intervened in any of them once. So where the fuck does this come from? I think I have to bump down What If Season 3. I think it's worse, because okay, my reasoning for this abrupt change midway, and I guess my second dumbing down, because I did knock a lot of points out of the Spider-Man show, because I knocked it down from A to B. I think I have to knock this down again. I think it got nonsensical. I think it's on do I want to put it here? Because hold on. Yeah. I think it deserves to be here. I don't know. Nah. I'm keeping it there. I'm not dumbing it down. But yeah. Just everything about like Watu here is, I think, handled very poorly. I'm not the biggest fan of how they handle his character. It's not him breaking his oath is not the biggest thing to happen. It never was and never's gonna be. We've always seen that the first fucking season. So yeah. Moving on to the Exiles. And oh yeah, what I was talking about with Watu. Like Watu has seen many, probably millions, like an infinite amount of universes fall and heroes fall. So him intervening now, for no apparent reason other than he just wants to. I can't bear it anymore. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? The last time he intervened, because one, Ultron was gonna threaten the entirety of the multiverse. I think that's very fair, and the fact that Ultron attacked him first, and two, he didn't intervene in the second one. That was Strange Supreme. That started fucking up everything, and it's implied that he did make the Exiles, or at least what is implied to be the Exiles, or what are implied to be the Exiles at the end of season 2. But let's get into the Exiles real quick. I don't know, man. I don't like who they chose for the Exiles, mainly because there really is no setup aside from just season 2. uh, where we see the fact that Captain Carter and Kaori are a team now. So yeah, there's that. Birdie is here, and Birdie got one episode to show her off, and that's really it. And that wasn't even like an episode about her character. It was just like it was about Howard and Darcy. So Birdie didn't really get any proper setup. And then there's Storm, which I like Storm. She's voiced by the same actress as in the original animated series and Esther 97, so that's cool to see. And they're using, I think this is the Goddess of Thunder version of Storm. If I'm pretty sure. Goddess of Thunder. Storm. There we go. Yep. This is the Goddess of Thunderstorm. However, the problem with Storm, as cool as it is to see her officially in a Marvel property, is the fact that she pops out of nowhere, is never explained, and doesn't even get an episode. Which is weird. Which is really, really weird. Because she just kind of pops up. We're supposed to, I don't care about her. But there's really nothing. She's just here for fan service pretty much, which is like the absolute bottom of the barrel when it comes to characters. So yeah, the Exiles are two characters that one character that has pretty much been the main character of the show and comes in out of nowhere for the season. Two original characters, one which was in the last half, gave it almost no development aside from her own episode, which I don't remember shit about it, but probably wasn't good since I fucking gave it a D tier. And yeah, no, it doesn't gain anything here either. And then there's Birdie, which has gotten nothing character-wise, nothing else for us to care about. And essentially, this is our introduction to the character itself, and Storm, which we have never seen before, and we're also supposed to care about her. The problem here is that there are characters they could have used, and they just haven't. Like, have you forgotten about the entirety of the first fucking season where Watu brought those characters in there? I know they probably couldn't have gotten Star-Lord T'Challa. That's just not how it would have happened. But there's still Gamora. There's still Black Widow. To my knowledge, there's still Black Widow and Gamora. There's still... Who else is still out? I know fucking Killmonger died. That's not a character. Who else was there? I know that there wasn't any from out of the universe. There's Party Thor. That's one. Captain Carter. I think Carter and Captain Carter are gotta be there. Birdie, I don't fucking mind. I know it makes it sound like I'm really mad about Birdie, but I think it could have worked if we didn't have Storm there to share that introduction with. I think Birdie could have been interesting enough to have there as her own and have her sort of be there and gain her own character as the episode goes on, especially since it's a two-parter finale, technically speaking. Is there any others? We could have gotten some season 2 characters in there. We could have got some season 3 characters in there, but we never did. We really, really never did. I think that the Ironheart version, where she gains White Vision's powers, would have been interesting to see in the finale, but we never did. Or, for season 2, the Nova Corp Nebula. She's in the fucking finale. We just never see her. Aside from that, like, one instance. So, what? Yeah, my main problem with the Exiles is that they could have chosen more characters to add here that would have made a lot more sense than Storm and Birdie, or at least wouldn't have had Birdie share the spotlight, share the introduction with Storm, and we could have given more time to Birdie as a character, and maybe more time and also to Kaori, instead of it's like, oh well, these are all like there. Like, at least like, yeah, like, at least we could have gotten like some familiarity for season 1, since this pulls a lot from season 1. The finale is one big nostalgia trip for a show I do not give two shits about. So yeah. Let's talk about every other character. I think they're all fine. I don't care all that much. I think that they're all handled fine. Nah, shit. I think they're all handled fine. Like, they're all handled in character mostly, aside from the ones we talked about here. And yeah, they are handled fine. There really is nothing more to say about them. Just, they're good. They're fine. I don't mind Agatha. I think Agatha works fine in that sort of scenario. I don't mind the Eternals. I don't mind Ironheart. I don't mind any of the other characters. I don't mind Red Guardian. I think he works fine. Winter Soldier as well. I don't mind any of them. They're handled pretty well in all things considered. They just aren't the main focus. Which is weird when you have the fucking finale there. God. At the most I can give season 1, the most I can give that fucking season 1 is that at least every consecutive episode built upon the characters. And the absolute fucking bare minimum I can give season 2 is that at least we had multiple episodes of Captain Carter, so the finale would at least be about her, and we had Kaori episode brought up, so she could be in the finale. Birdie, to set up her character, Birdie technically appeared in her own episode, but it was mostly a Howard and Darcy episode, and it did not set up her character at all. Do I really want to? Yeah, I'm gonna do it. This is pretty bad. So yeah, let's move on to the plot. Alright. So what if, I think a big criticism about What If is that there are a lot of uninteresting scenarios, and I think that's very apparent here. I don't care that we never got what if the other half snapped. I've seen a lot of people not like that idea. I think I don't want to discard any ideas just because of the principle of them being bad. Every idea could work, but my main problem with that is that that is too much for a 30-minute short, because the entire thing would really hate. Like, I think pretty much like they would have won anyways, because there's Hank Pym in that scenario. There's Hank Pym. There's still Black Panther. There's still the Wakandan nation. Sure he's not there, but Hank Pym is still out there. Iron Man's not there, but you could make the case that some other characters could fill in those shoes. I don't know. I think it'll just play out the same as Endgame, but quicker. And I think that's not really there's gonna be very, very rushed for a 30-minute episode. Just thinking there. So I think they would have to think smaller. And there are a lot of uninteresting scenarios, but let's get the good ones out of the way. Or at least the most interesting ones out of the way first. I think, at least the ones that make the most sense. I think I said that there are 2 Eternal-centric episodes. I don't mind them. I think the series as a whole is bad, like really bad, but at least what they went with those episodes isn't that bad. I felt like the one like what happens like, oh, what if the emergence occurred? That's really interesting. I feel like having a short story in that scenario could have been really good to see, but we got it, but they didn't really use any of the big characters. Like it didn't at all. Nothing happened in it. Like it was such a weird thing. It was such a weird premise. It wasn't about like, sure, I get what they were going for, but then it's like, oh, then Mysterio took over the world. Like what the fuck? Where did that come from? So yeah, even then they kind of fucked it up. I'm glad that we got more Spidey stuff here with Mysterio. That was cool. But I don't how they used Mysterio is weird. I think it didn't really make much sense. And in that episode, there weren't a lot of interesting characters that they even pulled from. I think the most interesting one was like Riri Williams, Ironheart, and even then, I feel like she could have been replaced with any other character. Like smart character, like Shuri could have probably been a replacement for her. Something like that. Like I don't know. I don't get that episode and what they went with that episode, but I do like the idea of it. A lot like something that I thought of like myself, like thought to myself watching all of these like, scenarios was like, what is stopping this from happening in the main timeline? Like the one with the one with, and there's some that here just don't make any fucking sense. For example, the one in the episode with Sam and Bruce, like that can happen in the timeline. I don't know why that would be different. That could have happened, or that doesn't really make any sense to happen because that wasn't Bruce there. And another one, the episode with the Red Guardian stopping the Winter Soldier. I thought to myself, well, why didn't that happen initially? What was the Red Guardian doing? That's never really explained. It would have made more sense if we saw that, but he was just in the meeting with Dreykov, which implies that Red Guardian was working with the Red Room in the 90s, when I presume that Red Guardian was in prison. I think, I don't know. I would think that's the case, that they put him in prison. I don't remember what the exact timeline was because I don't care about the Black Widow movie. But I am pretty sure the Red Guardian was put in jail. Like after the events of the prologue. Here in 2016. Wait, hold on. Sometime later, okay. Oh, that did not happen. Their language for decades, and okay, then it did happen. What the hell? I don't know why. I don't know why this happened. This shouldn't have happened. I don't know what. Was this in the 90s or was this in? Oh. Oh, 1992. That makes sense, I guess. Okay. So it hadn't happened, so I didn't break the timeline. But whatever. Like still, that shouldn't have happened. The Bruce Banner one, I think, is kind of stupid. It doesn't really make any sense. I don't care about how the one with Howard the Duck. That one follows Party Thor, so whatever. What if the emergence destroyed the Earth? Makes sense. 1872 explained that it's like at the far reaches of the multiverse, which it gets weird, so I don't mind. So yeah, the only one that really, again, like feels weird is the one with Agatha, because yeah, again, there's no inciting incident there. Just Agatha learns about the Tiamat. Why and how we don't know, and she goes to Hollywood. Why we don't know. Unless that's the entire thing. It doesn't. There's nothing here, and I think the bad part about this is that there's nothing follows through in the end. The only thing that really matters is the Watcher intervening 2 times, which we've already seen him intervene in the first season. So now we're stuck with this finale that doesn't tie in with anything. We don't see any of the season 3 characters, so they just come out of nowhere. And there is a big implication with the Exiles here, is that they beat Kang, the entire Kang Council, because they have Kang's ship. What the hell? Off screen, by the way, they never explained this. It's just kind of, oh, there's Kang's thing. So what? They beat the Council too? They beat everybody? I thought, okay, I think that that Marvel shouldn't have dropped Kang. That's a whole nother story. But the fact that this is how they explain away Kang in a show that I'm pretty sure nobody ever watched. Hell, I watched it late. I did not see anybody talking about What If after, like, during its release or even after. So, I don't know. Why do this? I think that it would have been a better choice to have Kang be explained away in Doomsday, that maybe Doom beat all the Kangs. I feel like that could be better, and it could show that Doom is very powerful, but that's not what they did here. They just didn't. So, yeah, no. And also, the finale is rushed as fuck, makes absolutely no sense, and it kind of ruins the character of Infinity Ultron by redeeming him in the most cliche way possible ever. I don't get why did this need to happen? So yeah, it's just such a weird turn of events for this show. I did not appreciate how this show went on and did its finale, and also just the general concept of this show having a finale. This show is, I think, the one MCU show that should have gone on for so long, for many more, but it just didn't. It just didn't. They had to have a finale that they didn't build up. Things came out of nowhere. So now we're stuck with this. Now we are officially stuck with this finale. And the fact that an anthology series had to have a finale where absolutely not set up at all and has plot threads and plot implications that you begin to think, what the fuck? I don't know why they thought any of these decisions were ever good to begin with. So yeah, I don't know what Marvel's thinking with this show. I think What If should have just stayed a full anthology. It would have been better for these shows. Just longevity, I guess. We would not have finished with 3 seasons. I think we should have gotten a season, a phase, at least a season a year like they originally planned to do, but that did not happen. So whatever. Anyways, now the future, like, there's no, it's canceled. What If it's done? But apparently Natasha Lyonne, the actress behind Birdie, is in Fantastic Four, so she may show up there. Who knows? If there's any chance of the Exiles showing back up, it's going to be in these next 3 movies. Well, not next 3 because we still don't have Thunderbolts, but like Fantastic Four, Doomsday, Secret Wars. If there's any hope of them appearing, it's in those 3 movies. So yeah, there's not much of a thing. If they're ever gonna show up again, which they may not, because they might want to continue that plot thread, because What If season 3 was received pretty well by critics, I'm pretty sure, but nobody watched it, so they might pivot away from that, like how they pivoted away from all of Secret Invasion. So yeah. Anyways, there's not much more to say about What If Season 3. It is extremely lackluster, and it lacks. And viewing this as not an anthology, which is what it is trying to not be at its very core, it is only an anthology because it advertises itself as an anthology. So it trying to have an overarching storyline, which I'm gonna criticize it for. It fails to do the basic thing when it comes to storytelling, which is setting things up for the finale, and otherwise it really falls flat. And this show, just how it was made, should not have shipped out. This is a big disappointment and I think the biggest wasted potential Marvel has ever had with a show, which is why I'm very offended with this fucking show. I'm giving it an F tier. I'm giving season 3 an F tier. It is terrible. I was going through the episode, like going through like the 5 stages of fucking grief, or not even grief, like just accepting the fact that this is shit. This is bad. You are actively wasting your time watching What If Season 3. There is almost nothing interesting about this show. Everything it does right, it overrides with it just being so uninteresting. So yeah, that's really all I gotta say. Nothing is shown up. I fine. I'll agree that the Howard Duck episode is stupid, but that's what it's meant to be. But everything else is bad. Everything else is just terrible. Not terrible. It's just, as an anthology, it has the same problem I think I had with Hell of a Boss, where it like started off trying to be an anthology series, or that's what it kind of advertised itself as, and then it devolved into a completely different show. So yeah, that's about it. What did you guys think about What Is Season 3? Leave in the comments below. All of our socials on the description. If you're listening to this on Spotify, you can follow us if you want more of our if you want to see more of our content, or rate us if you think our content is good. And on YouTube, you can subscribe if you want to see when we upload next. Like if you like the episode, and share around if you think it's if you think it's worth sharing. Well, yeah, that's about it. See ya.